Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing today, this fine morning on this beautiful, beautiful Monday, October 2nd? And I am particularly excited today to talk to you about one of my favorite subjects of all time, something that I have been studying and working with for almost 20 years. Oh my goodness, for a long time. So we are meeting again this morning. This is the Duchenne Method Q&A weekly class that talks about all things related to mind-body alignment. And I like to do this in this format because I love to have people come on in and hey, good morning. Jenny is here this morning. Good morning, Jenny. So you can write in the comments if you're here, give me a little shout out, say good morning. I like to do this interactive type of short class, usually about half an hour, 20 to 30 minutes. And I like to go a little bit deeper into how we can communicate, acknowledge, engage, and support one another with our insights, with also practicing having a voice. And so that's why I invite your feedback, your comments on anything that I am sharing. You agree, you don't agree, you have a better idea, something resonates, you feel something deeply. Please feel free to share. This is the place, this is the sacred circle of creation that I am really wanting to create and support one another in learning about our bodies, about how our minds, bodies, hearts, and spirits really are all an interconnected source of energy. So we communicate not just with our voices, clearly, we communicate with our facial expressions, we communicate with the tone of our voices. I'm very energetic this morning, so you feel that energy usually coming right through the screen. And that's super important because when we have more energy, when we cultivate the art of energy, of actually nurturing our energy, what happens is that we tend to get more energized. So if you're around children, for example, it can also be exhausting because children move a lot, right? They have a lot of questions. They ask a lot of questions. And at the same time, it's very energizing because the questions are interesting. Their way of seeing things are interesting. And their little fascial networks, everything that is moving within their bodies is ignited. So this is why it can be so difficult to see children not feeling well, because it's not their natural way of being. Their natural way of being is to be curious. And I really want to dive into this topic of fascia this month. So today we're going to start with the preliminaries. We're going to start with the introduction, right? How does fascia relate to mind-body alignment and body-mind alignment, mind-body heart-spirit alignment? And I separate them in order for us to go deeper in understanding what they are. But the truth is that we are one unique, important, integrated, holistic aliveness, right? We have all this aliveness in our body. So I want to just start first and foremost to let you know that this whole conversation around fascia, which has become very popular and prominent now, which is awesome. I'm so excited about that because the more research we're doing about connective tissue, about fascia, the more we know, for example, its intricate relationship with the brain. How does hydration, what is the impact of hydration in your body in relationship to brain health? Also, how does fascia that tends to get stuck in the body, if you are not moving, if you're not exercising, if you feel depressed, if you're someone who worries a whole lot, that has a significant impact on the health of your fascia. So starting at the beginning, what is this fascial sheathing? You've probably heard it, right? That it's kind of this connective tissue that surrounds every muscle, bone, organ of your body. But did you know that connective tissue, your fascia, also goes through bone? It's not just the envelope, it weaves its way through bone, through your organ sacs, through the large sac that holds all of your organs together. And why this is significant is because your fascial network is really kind of the communication conduit that moves through your entire body. So if you have ever gone to a doctor and you have been having migraines or headaches, or you have pain, you have TMJ, or you have a toothache, or you have a bellyache, you're not quite sure what's going on. And a few years ago, you had a severe, or for example, you had COVID, right? A few years ago, you had COVID, and you lost your smell and taste for some time, like I did. And then something else shows up a few years later, a couple of years later, and you go get checked out at the doctor. And what happens, what I've heard many times from my clients, is that when they go see their doctor, the doctor does not correlate any of the affectations, anything that you're feeling today, with something that might have happened in your recent past, or worse, they don't make the connection with another part of your body that might also be in pain. So for example, if you twisted your ankle going up the stairs, and a month or two later, you start to have shoulder pain, maybe the opposite shoulder, doesn't matter which shoulder, there is a 100% correlation between those two issues. 100% correlation. And when most medical professionals, your doctor, when you go see them in their office, they will tell you that there is no correlation. Your thyroid medication has no correlation with you having some sort of back spasm. The fact that you are someone who is tense and who worries a whole lot has no correlation with the fact that you twisted your ankle or that you hurt your knee somehow. I just want to be very clear. I'll speak for myself in my practice of almost 20 years. There is always a correlation, because your connective tissue is that main organ of communication. It is the main factor that actually makes all the correlations in your body. It goes as far as affecting your emotional states. If you're not feeling well, if you're depressed, if you're fearful, if you're worried about your children, for example, if you're worried about their future, for example, that will have a significant correlation to your physiology. So if you start to have heart palpitations for whatever reason, it can absolutely be correlated to the fact that you're worried about your child's future. This is what is coming out with the new research around connective tissue. And for people like me who've been doing this for many, many, many years, we've known this for many, many, many years, but it wasn't as sexy to talk about it then. It has become a sexier topic now, so that we're all talking about it. So I just want to create the foundation for this, that if you are feeling a malaise, something that bothers you in your body, in one part of your body, it is absolutely correlated to another part of your body and to an accident potentially that you've had several years before. The body is a culmination of information. It gathers all of this information that we've had through our physical lives. And we're going to go back here, all the way back to embryological development, when you were pregnant or when you were in your mother's belly, and how you developed, how your mother was feeling during her pregnancy, how you were birthed. Was it an easy birth? Was it a difficult birth? Did they use forceps, which they used to do in olden days all the time? Were you breeched? Did they have to turn you around? Was your umbilical cord caught around your neck? All of these components have a serious affectation to how you are in your body today. But we don't really talk about these things because they seem so far away, so unrelated. One of the topics to assist us in understanding how these might be correlated is the big conversation that a lot of people are having around trauma these days. So we're talking about trauma, what has affected us in our lives. And a lot of the trauma that is unspoken, the unconscious trauma that is stuck in your body, is in your fascial sheathing. So again, the level of importance to really start to open up the possibility of the interconnectivity of this magnificent miracle that is our body is rather significant, wouldn't you say? Especially if you have children who are dealing with autism or who have some sort of neurological dysfunction, or maybe you are also suffering with some sort of immunological condition also since COVID. It's possible that you haven't been able to come back fully into yourself since the pandemic, right? Since we went through COVID. Just know that it's rather common. Most of us have some sort of trailing ailment from the pandemic, from COVID. And whether you had COVID or not, or whether you had COVID and it was terrible or not, there is now some actual research on long COVID and how it has affected us and how it's affecting us today. So please don't feel out of bounds if you're still struggling with kind of coming back to yourself. This is really important because for a lot of us, we feel like we're still a little off. Sometimes I definitely still feel a little off. Like I'm not as energetic in some ways. There's kind of a filter, a little bit of a filter. So the importance of understanding how to be in our bodies and to listen to our bodies, to listen to your child's complaints about their bodies as they're evolving, as they're growing. This is all related to mind, body, mind health. And of course, your fascial, your connective tissue has a big source in it. It plays a big part in it because it is the actual communicator of information throughout your entire system. For some of us, we also consider that blood is connective tissue. That blood moving through your body also is considered fascia because it is moving information throughout your entire system. So different ways of looking at it, different possibilities of looking at it. And so one of the things that I wanted to share with you today is that we've found out more and more about how fascia affects also our proprioceptiveness, right? How we move in space, our relationship to space, our positioning and movement in the space we inhabit. And so all of this nervous system that communicates through your connective tissue helps you to become more aware of your spacing. If you're someone who doesn't like to be too close to people, maybe you're in the supermarket or you're shopping somewhere and you tend to feel uncomfortable about people being close to you. You might not like to go to large musical events because people can be rather tightly knit. So your proprioceptiveness, your relationship to managing space around you is very important. You tend to be very aware of who's around you, and this might make you feel uncomfortable. That is a source of stress, and your fascia is going to record that stress in your body. And the reason for that is because there are specialized receptors in your connective tissue. So it's kind of like you have little antennas all over your body. And so you're feeling this energy. You're feeling if people are too close to you, and it makes you feel uncomfortable. That's completely normal. You should probably not be in those environments as much as possible because that will increase the level of stress in your body. Also, this receptor feedback from your nervous system, from your connective tissue in your body, really also informs our sense of balance, of coordination, and of course, of our emotional well being. So, if your fascia is healthy and flexible, that will enhance body awareness. It's going to promote better posture as well as emotional resilience. This is why any type of touch is very helpful to maintain healthy connective tissue. We talked about this several times in these classes, where using a roller, a foam roller, and the one that I really support and encourage you to get for yourself is the Melt foam roller, meltmethod.com. I think it's the best foam roller in the market because it's not so hard. There's a receptivity in the foam roller because of its density, because of the material of which it's made. And when you can just relax on this roller, it actually helps to hydrate your connective tissue. We can also do the same thing with tennis balls, and you can lay down on tennis balls to help relieve any type of tension in the upper back and all the way down your back, all the way onto your glutes. So there's a lot that you can do very simply with a foam roller and with balls to help hydrate and relax your connective tissue. So what does that do? Well, because your connective tissue, your fascia, is not just a passive structure that holds you together, it's dynamic and responsive. So when you're feeling stressed out, when you have a big day ahead of you, if you have to do a presentation, if you have to deal with a big issue, or if you need to have a difficult conversation on any given day, you might want to start your day by foam rolling, by rolling and relaxing your body, because this will improve your relationship with your own emotional intelligence, emotional resiliency. What happens when we're calm and when we are balanced, when we're in alignment? We tend to think more clearly. So this is what I mean by saying that your fascia is not just a passive structure. It is a dynamic structure. It is a responsive structure that assists you in balancing, in managing your emotional health. Conversely, if your fascia gets very tight, if it's contracted, that also affects the entirety of your body. So when you have tension somewhere, you have tension everywhere. If and when we experience a traumatic event in our life, your connective tissue, your fascia, responds by becoming tense. Of course, that leads to physical discomfort as well as emotional distress. So we want to learn how to regulate this amazing organ of communication. Because if you can manage to take just 5, 10, or 15 minutes even, can you take 5, 10, 15 minutes of your day to simply engage in caring for yourself? That's true self-care. That's true self-care, is just to take 5 or 10 minutes. I know you have busy lives. I appreciate that you have busy lives. But my goal in this world, my mission in this world, is to assist you in self-nurturing yourself so that you might take better care of yourself. And what I'm talking about are these 5 or 10-minute moments of relaxation throughout your day through movement, through gentle stretching, through rolling, using the balls on your back. And I'll do another video about that to teach you how to use those balls on your back and to help you relax and soften. This will help, especially if you are the type of person who gets a lot of headaches and migraines. I discourage you to take a lot of medication. I know that sometimes it's necessary, but if you just learn to roll your occipital bone, that's the bone at the bottom, the base of your head. If you just learn how to roll your occipital bone very gently on a foam roller, this can significantly assist you in releasing tension in your cranial bones, in your actual brain matter. And you can also do this by just massaging the bottom of the bones of your occipital bones, right? Just very gently massaging all the way back here, very slowly and gently. And just you'll feel the bone. It's right at the bottom, right at the ear, around your ear. Come around the jaw and just gently massage. And just doing it right now is putting me into a state of relaxation. So they're very simple techniques that you can take and do yourself 5 to 10 minutes every day. In addition to this, be sure to hydrate. Be sure to hydrate. So, water, of course. Get rid of all types of sodas and juices. There are very few juices that are actually healthy for you unless you are doing your own orange juice at home or your own grapefruit juice at home, or you buy a pineapple and you do your own pineapple juice at home. There's a ton of sugar in there, which is not necessarily bad. It depends on your condition, on who you are, on how you metabolize any type of fruit sugars. But more importantly, water. Get some water and get some really great amino acids for your water. Get some really great electrolytes and you put in your water. And that helps to restore, revive, and regenerate the healthiness of your connective tissue. It helps to hydrate your entire system. So if you are keeping your nervous system, your fascial system in shape, if you are rolling and relaxing every single day, 5 to 10 minutes, and you're ingesting, you're hydrating your body inside, and by rolling outside, doing some gentle stretches, listening to some peaceful, beautiful music, practicing a little bit of meditation, maybe another 5 to 10 minutes, very simple tools, it will start to change your nervous system. Your physiology will shift based on what you focus and concentrate on. And remember, your fascia, your connective tissue, moves throughout your entire body. So if you're hydrating, you're affecting all parts of you. If you're rolling your shoulders and your back, it's also affecting your legs and your feet, even though you might not touch your legs and your feet. And this happens all the time in my practice as a HelloWork structural integration practitioner. This is a specific methodology, a specific technique that really helps you to release fascial adhesions in your body. So if you've been holding tension in your shoulders for a long time, of course your muscles are going to contract, and the connective tissue that surrounds those muscles and that goes through the muscle fiber is also very tense and taut. So it's not like you're going to go get a massage and everything is going to release. In HelloWork structural integration, the work that I do, the clients that I see in my office, there's a complete protocol, and not just body work and movement, which is important. I do at every session. There's also a dialogue component, a therapeutic dialogue component where I invite your body to speak its pain, to speak its trauma. And this is highly effective because you're touching on several components of your nervous system when you receive structural integration, right? With HelloWork. So essentially, I'm clearly touching your body. So there is the touch component, which of course includes the energetic component. And energy is what helps us to heal. If you're surrounded by negative energy, your body just gets tenser and tenser. If you are approached with love, kindness, and a specific methodology to assist you in releasing adhesions in your body through touch, just touching your arm, just working on your shoulder releases the entire body, because my intention is to release the entire body, even though I may only be working on one region of your body. People feel it every day, all the time. This is why, if you find yourself in New York City, look me up, Art of Alignment Academy. Make an appointment to see me so that you might get the experience of a fully releasing healing alignment session to assist you to process even subconscious forgotten traumas in your body. That's how deep we are, my friends. That's how deep we go. Start to explore what might be helpful for you in assisting you in dealing just with everyday life, especially the emotional aspect of your life. If you are someone who tends to be very moody, or if you're inconsistent with your mood, emotions get embodied into our physical bodies, right? We take them on. They actually live in our bodies. So it's very difficult to consistently be on an up and down train, right? On that high and low, because every day you are at the mercy of your emotions. You are at the mercy of your mind and your belief system. And emotional trauma will show up in all kinds of ways in your life, sometimes in the most unexpected ways, and sometimes in the most uncomfortable ways. So, what I'm inviting you into here is a self-care system where you continuously do your research. You take tiny steps every day to an enhanced future, to a healthier body, to a brighter smile, to fresher skin, to brighter eyes. It's so important as we get older to really tap into what is your reason for being here on this planet, right? As we get older, we start to ask these questions, and maybe even younger too, especially as we get older, because our bodies change. We go through a lot of processes throughout our lives. So the reason I focus on mind alignment, physical alignment, spiritual, mental, emotional alignment, and that I break it down is really to bring you back to the whole, to the center, to your midline, to connecting to yourself, that you, my friends, always have your own back, that you can manage the difficult parts of your life. And that's not to say that you don't reach out for help. We all need help and support. And in fact, I think that's the best way to heal is in community, which is exactly why I do these lives and I interact with you in this way, to start to monitor yourself. Monitor yourself if you tend to be moody, if you are dealing with a rather severe condition in your life. How can you take daily small steps to connect with yourself? And in so doing, this is how you actually get to release, relax, and be in communication with your body, with your fascia, your organ of communication. And to get a little bit more curious and interested in how your body mind works. Because if you get curious about it, you're going to find out, and you're going to have to agree with me that you are a miracle. We are all miracles. So to start to shift that mindset and to start to embrace what's possible for us through this organ of communication. You know, when you are in touch with yourself, when you are in conversation with yourself, when you're paying attention to yourself, it really increases your body awareness. It increases your emotional resilience, and it will decrease your stress levels because you are aware of what is occurring. You are in relationship with what's occurring in your life. You are not at the mercy of what's occurring to you. I hope that this makes sense. Oh, Jenny, you had a few questions here. Jenny has a weird question. When Maeve had her epidural hematoma after her TBI, she had no visual indication on her head, but I was told that she will have a sort of footprint of it that will show up in scans. Yes, I can't tell you so much about this, Jenny, because I really don't know that deeply. But the one thing that I do know from personal experience is that, yes, the way that any type of reactivity in the body can leave a footprint in our tissue. It can actually leave a footprint. It doesn't mean that it will continue to affect her in the same way, but I have heard this, that it does leave a footprint. It's like walking in the sand. Lately, she has this strange bruise type mark on her forehead in the place near the hematoma. Could that be related? She hasn't hit her head and it's been there a while. Maybe this isn't related. I would guess that it is very much related. My guess would be that it is. You know, when I did all of my dissections, I couldn't believe how much every part of us is affected by what happens around us. So, in my opinion, I wouldn't say that it's too physical. But yes, ask your neurologist, because I'm definitely not a neurologist. But yes, I do believe that there is an imprint. There's something that happened on the inside that can actually manifest on the outside. I've also seen that in bodies. I'm wondering if the bruise would work itself to the outside. Yes, but then I guess it would have to move through the skull. Right, exactly. But it does. But that is the connective tissue affectation. It absolutely moves through the skull, for sure. Even more connected, right? So there's an absolute correlation between those, because your tissue, like, so the other thing to remember is that nothing is stagnant in the body. Everybody is moved. There's hydration, there's liquid. So if there's a bruise on the inside, there's no question that it can appear on the outside. It's what happens a lot with when we have some sort of eye irritation, an infection of the eye. Well, the infection will manifest on the outside, but it really is starting on the inside, on a much deeper layer of the fascial tissue. Does that make sense? Related? Yes, that's what I was wondering after what you said about the fascia moving in and out. Yeah, exactly. So if it's a carrier of communication, and this is how I really understand fascia, it is an organ of communication throughout your body. Absolutely. It's not just carrying through a metaphorical, it's literally carrying information. It's literally carrying bloodstream, blood clots, explosions of blood clots, right? So this will definitely be manifested on the outside. It's always much deeper than what we see on the surface. So great questions, Jenny. Thank you for asking that. I hope that was helpful. And it's so helpful when you ask those questions. Thank you, because it helps me also to think it through, because I have a very specific language around it that I've been teaching and working on for years. And when you ask questions like that, it really helps me to be able to also express maybe in a way that I did not express already. So I love that you asked this question, because it's 100% possible that she would have an internal dysfunction that might occur that would manifest on the outside. 100%. All right. Thank you. So I hope that this was helpful. This month, all month, we're talking about fascia. I'm going to go deeper in different areas. So today was really kind of the overview, right? How does this beautiful fascial layers, different textures, collagenous, elastin, all types of different layers of fascia in your body manifest? And I wanted to really talk about this as an organ of communication. So to your point, Jenny, yes, if you get bruised on the inside, a lot of the time there will be an outer manifestation, either through the skin, right? Because there are fascial layers that are intertwined, interconnected with skin. You may have an expression of that internal malfunction or bruising that will appear on the outside. It is an organ of communication. Next week, we're going to go deeper into understanding the role of fascia in anxiety and depression. In anxiety and depression, it is a super popular topic. It is something that many people are dealing with on a daily basis. And if we can do anything to help ourselves to illuminate the conversation around anxiety and depression and fascia's role in it. I'm hoping that this can help to bring some sort of ease and understanding for people. So thank you so much for being with me today. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next week when we go a little bit deeper into the other layers of our beautiful fascial matrix. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.